Hello and welcome to Please Don't Send Me Into Outer Space, the podcast intent on exploring all that science fiction and fantasy has to offer one movie at a time. My name is Joel.
My name is Sarah.
And my name is Aaron.
The movie this week is Children Who Chase Lost Voices, aka Children Who Chase Lost Voices from what was the other title?
Journey to
Journey to Agartha. You know, I remember that because I was thinking, is there another country called Awena?
I didn't get that, Joel. You're giving me a face like I should get that.
Agartha, Awena.
Oh, Wayne, Garth.
Anyways, it was directed by, I just said the guy's name, Makoto Shinkai, and written by Makoto Shinkai. Voice actors.
Cool.
Were in this. So, random movie picked for us by the trusty randomizer.
Old faithful machine.
Been a long time since we went into animation. And I gotta say, this was, it was okay. I'm just gonna jump straight into it. It was okay. I don't know if the dubbed version we watched had like some sort of lost in translation thing going on where like plot points weren't really laid out as to like characters' motivations or whatever, but like it was really pretty.
Oh yeah. Absolutely agree with you there.
I think it was really pretty too, but I do think, and we'll probably talk about all of it, but there was like a mashup of Miyazaki influence.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was well done, but I think, and it had its own story as well, a bit, but there was a lot of Miyazaki stuff in there. Maybe even stuff I don't know from movies I haven't seen. But yeah, there was a compilation of moments that reminded me of other moments in Miyazaki movies.
I wonder how much of that is based on like Japanese stories or like Japanese art or something like that. Like
I thought about that too.
Maybe not maybe Miyazaki wasn't the one who came up with that stuff in the first place.
I wondered about that.
Yeah, based on traditional stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean they lay out a bunch of mythology in this movie. So, yeah, I can't say. I should have looked it up before. Now I'm looking on my phone right now.
Maybe there's an artist that did renderings of these creatures before either one of them did that they're both influenced by. But I think it's pretty... I don't like to say things definitively when it comes to this kind of thing. But it seems pretty undeniable in a couple of places that it's similar to Miyazaki.
Oh yeah, totally. Very, very Miyazaki. I have to say, some of the aesthetics of some of the creatures we saw kind of remind me a little bit of Yu-Gi-Oh cards as well. At one point.
Yeah, it says here one of the director's greatest influences, Yu-Gi-Oh. No, it doesn't say.
Yeah, definitely very Miyazaki, from like the little cat creature thing that we encounter on the shoulder of the young, protagonist girl who's, trying to just, I don't know, go to school and stuff.
I feel like when it comes to fantasy Japanese animation, you can't swing a stick without hitting a cat creature, though. It's not exclusively.
I don't know. It reminded me of, the little kind of Pikachu looking thing from, that one Miyazaki film, the one with the planes and the
trains and the automobiles.
No, the giant bug creature one.
The giant bug creature one.
Yeah.
Oh, you talking about not Howl's Moving Castle. The other Castle in the Sky?
Mm-mm.
That has planes in it. Porco Rosso? That's
Nope.
got planes in it.
Try again.
He likes planes.
I know.
he
Yeah, saying that there were
definitely
planes in it was not. All right.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's the first one.
That's
first one
Castle in the Sky.
No, the
Oh,
other
you're
one.
talking about Nausicaa.
Nausicaa, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that
Reminded
was,
me a little bit of-
that was even based on a manga, so it wasn't even his.
Well, it was his manga.
It was his manga?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you sure?
Yeah, that's why Nick was so obsessed.
Because I
with
talked
it.
to him and he said he didn't do it.
Yeah.
Miyazaki did the manga because that was the whole his plan. His plan was he was gonna make he wanted to do his own animation. So he started with doing a comic first, so that he could then scout that around,
Okay.
get money to make his animation
It's
for
a
it.
lot of visual information in that
I see.
landscapes and the world and everything that exists in Nausicaa.
Okay. Well, listeners, I'd like to apologize. I've got a couple of liars on here that are trying to trick me, and they just, I'm going to throw them out the podcast.
All you have
Don't
to
worry.
do is look
Huh?
at a face, and you know he drew it
Well-
compared to the movie.
I mean, these faces look like he drew them sometimes,
Well, that's because every animator wants to be Miyazaki.
I mean, not the guys who did, Aeon Flux. They draw skinny weirdos.
True, but didn't actually some people who used to work for Miyazaki make this film?
No, not
Are you
as far
sure?
as I know.
Okay.
I was looking for.
I was under the impression that these were Studio Ghibli alumni or something.
No, as far as I can see, the Makoto Shinkai, who has been called the next Miyazaki by some critics, is didn't have any association as far as I could see.
Okay.
Like his only animation credits are on stuff that he made.
Hmm?
But yeah.
Okay.
In fact, it looks like he animated the entire movie himself, or maybe there's just not full credits on IMDb.
Fair enough.
His hand was very tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof.
So, a 2011 movie, and it didn't feel. I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel that original. I think it's one of the problems I have with it. A mysterious boy comes out of somewhere and saves a girl, and then the girl spends the rest of the time trying to seek out that boy. Although it's a bit more the story's more complicated than that, but that's kind of the gist of it.
Mm.
There's way more. Wait, are there more helicopters? Has Miyazaki ever had a helicopter in his movie?
I don't know. He's had other flying things.
Yeah.
I think they had helicopters in that music video he did.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, yeah, the music video. Only You or something like that. It's a good one.
Only you. No, not that one. I don't remember.
I forget the name.
It's really cool though.
It's a great music video, yeah.
We saw it on the big screen when they were doing
Oh, that's
Studio
rad.
Ghibli Fest. Yeah, it was a surprise. We're like, what is this? This isn't Princess Mononoke. Oh,
Very cool, very cool.
Yeah, I think okay, the movie is good. I'm not going to say I didn't like it. It was entertaining, and I've had anime watching experiences where it didn't hold my attention because it was too, cerebral or something. But this one, I felt like there was enough happening and there was enough visual interest for me to stay engaged with it. I did, though, think that one of the major differences between this and other Miyazaki stories is that the girl seems really weak compared to the heroes in Miyazaki movies.
that's true.
Yeah.
The central figures are usually girls in Miyazaki movies, and they usually are able to do things on their own and figure it out without anybody else. And they start off that way in this, but then they really quickly turn it into her getting saved by this boy and getting, going after him to try and find him. And
Another thing, I don't really feel like we usually have older people as protagonists. They're usually like young, teenager or to just coming into adulthood.
yeah.
Or, obviously like something in My Neighbor Totoro where they're really young girls. But this one has a main character who is an adult man who I understood his motivation. You know, like he's got he has a tragic story that he's pursuing. Although the emotion of that story didn't really work for me because they laid it out in a weird way where he wasn't very sympathetic.
No.
You know,
he's not a nice person.
Yeah.
And her motivation, like at first I thought it was going to be that. I guess I should lay it out. Okay, so what happens in this story is there is like an opening from the underworld, which is in the underworld is the land of Agartha, and there are these stones that are called Cletus. No, wait, what are they called?
Clavis.
Clavis, yeah,
Clavis.
They're called the glaive, and they're the Infinity Stones.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And it's right. If a wizard gathers all of them, they can snap away half of the animals or something. Anyways, these stones are not supposed to be on the upper world, and a couple of them got up there somehow. I don't know. So
yes,
what do they call them? Toppers or people of
upsiders?
Upsiders.
Yeah, the upside of Angers. And
Topsiders.
Topsiders.
Toppers pizzas versus Bottoms pizza. Nobody wants to go to Bottomers pizza.
I don't want to go to Bottomers pizzas.
I kind of do.
Is Toppers like a national
No, it's not.
thing? Is that just a South?
Yeah, it's
Southern California.
Mm-hmm. And not even that far. I think there's only like 8 locations.
Well, listeners, you got to come visit.
Yeah, Toppers is really good. Like,
Yeah.
I know it doesn't compare to East Coast pizza, although I've never had East Coast pizza, but I think it's pretty good for the area.
I think if I lived in an ancient society, I would try to get up to the surface world and go to Southern California to eat a Toppers pizza.
You have a sushi
sponsor us.
burrito, you know.
No thanks.
Okay, me neither. Sarah, you want a sushi burrito? No, I already know the answer. And keen listeners already know the answer, too. Anyways, so there is a legend that says if you go into the underworld area, there is a power to resurrect the dead. So the grown-up man wants to go there and get his wife back, who died at some unknown time ago. It almost seems like it's like ancient times, like he was fighting in World War II. No, I don't know if it's supposed to be modern time in the movie, but whatever. They don't establish it. And the girl goes down there, presumably because, well, it seems like she goes down there not by choice, but now like she decides to go on the journey because she might want to bring back some guy she met briefly. But I thought they were going to say the motivation was that she wanted to bring her father back. Because
I thought she was going to get to see her father or something.
At the very least, yeah.
Yeah. Because her father died, and they tell us that in the very beginning. And, yeah, they go to this underworld. I thought the journey to get to where they were going was kind of interesting. Like the how they got from where we are to where they are.
Yeah.
And it kind of creates this weird, like, picture in my mind of, like, what the Earth has underneath of it or something, if you were to draw, like, where we are versus where they are and how to get there.
Yeah.
We'll have to do some research on the hollow Earth theory.
Yeah, I'm sticking with the flat Earth theory.
Now,
there's dinosaurs underneath us.
The guy who helped them get into the portal, first of all,
Shin, right?
He says he's the brother of the guy who kissed her and died.
Right, yeah. Shun is the person who died, I believe. Mm-hmm. And Shin is the younger brother who Asuna mistakes for the older brother, but he went up because he had a task.
Right, a task. They have specific lingo in this movie for different things that they do.
Aaron, what are you doing, Aaron? Weren't you on a task?
Oh, I'm still on a task, Joel.
Well, I have a task, so I can't interrupt my task.
Yeah, you can't just run up to me and ask me, how I'm doing while I'm doing my task, Joel.
Yeah, that task sounds incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
Whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
The task. Sarah, have you gotten your task yet?
I thought... Yeah, that's why I'm not talking.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm focused on my task.
My task is silence.
Yeah, it's an interesting...
I kind of...
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I kind of wish we'd gotten a little bit more of, like, the street view of some of these cities.
Yeah.
Down here.
Some, like, life going on.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Just a little bit. We got to see, like, the doorway kind of leading in.
Right.
To some cities. That's about it, though.
Yeah, and Shin comes from some place where there's, like, a council with one incredibly old blind woman and two younger teenage dudes.
Yeah.
And I guess they're in charge of stuff, but I'm not sure.
And Shin's obviously some type of like loner outsider, even amongst his people.
Yeah.
So he's got like no backup, none.
And that blind lady spits on him and calls him worthless. Well, she doesn't do that, but it feels like that.
She shames him for letting the other top worlder people come, and it's not even really his fault. He brings the girl along. And then we find out that her little cat came along too in her backpack.
Mimi, the best character of the movie.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say what I thought and reminded me of Miyazaki so far?
Please, yes.
Okay, so first there was the creature on the bridge, which reminded me of creatures from like Princess Mononoke. There was more than one creature that reminded me of Princess Mononoke creatures.
Yeah, there was a bunch.
There was like one with the head of a Miyazaki-looking creature, one with like the worms or whatever, were the virus that was attacking the animals type of creature.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there was like a standing man creature that reminded me of the end of Princess Mononoke. But the main girl, reminded me of the older sister in My Neighbor Totoro.
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
What was her name? Not May. May's the younger one.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the guy that she's with goes through some things that are really Prince Ashitaka-ish, too.
Yep.
But if you haven't seen those movies, they're awesome. You should watch them, too.
Well, I know at least one person that hasn't seen Princess Mononoke, and he works with Aaron at the comic book store, so... Has that guy with the blue hair, Sonic, is his name, right?
No,
I'm going to call him Sonic next time I see him. Hey, Sonic. Gotta go fast. Hey, Sonic, I got you this chili dog.
I mean, he's busy right now. He's going to barber school.
Is he pregnant?
No.
Is it Wario's baby?
No.
Okay.
His name's Matthew. He had purple hair.
He had purple hair.
Purple.
Jeez, I feel bad now.
Whoa.
That's original character, copyright. No copyright infringement intended. Do not take Matthew the Hedgehog.
Be nice to people.
Hey? The guy with the standing guy with the mask that I guess eats dead people or whatever. That reminded me of the shadow in Spirited Away that like eats everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. And I guess that the crawling creatures kind of part reminded me of I don't know which ones they did, but kind of the spider
apes.
guy in
Spirited Away?
A little bit, but also maybe something else. Like
I was thinking the apes in Mononoke.
Yeah.
Like, we want to eat the human.
Right.
We're not scary.
And I mean, just visually, like, the landscape and the faces all look really, I mean, I am excited to see anybody doing animation that is to that caliber, because saying something is like Miyazaki is like saying it's like the best thing ever.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see other styles, too. But yeah, the water, the nature that was drawn, the characters,
Yeah, there's a lo-fi to like the sword fight and the guns, which is also like Princess Mononoke. Nobody's riding a cool elk though, but I did like his like mule horse thing.
Yeah, they switched it up. The horse was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, the companion of her cat reminds me of Kiki's Delivery Service and the dynamic with her and Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, that's a good movie too. But I'll stop going on about it.
The movie this week is wait. All right, so let's do the story here, as much as we can remember.
Okay,
having just watched the movie.
Sure.
So our main character is Asuna. She is a schoolgirl.
That's right.
And she seems to like spending a lot of time alone. And like it's her choice because she's got people who are like, oh, you want to hang out? You want to walk home together? And she's like, no, I got to do my own thing. And the first time we see her, she's sitting on a rock cliff and she's using some radio device type thing that has a crystal in it. And she's tuning it and she's got an earpiece and you hear the music and it's like,
That's exactly what it was like.
Okay, I don't think that's what it's not very distinctive. Whatever, just like tones or something like that.
Yeah, she's hearing the sounds of the crystal.
Mm. Crystals give off a certain vibration, you know, a vibration that can be used for healing.
Oh,
your dingus. Sarah, do you have an opinion
on the heartbeat?
Yes.
I thought because she said it sounded like a heartbeat that could be. I thought that potentially it might end up being a connection between her and somebody in the underworld, like the boy that she was interested in, or it could be something about her father.
Oh.
Or I thought that she may have some kind of special power to go between worlds or something. But I did like the lo-fi radio thing.
Yeah, it was cool. But because we don't know what time period it takes place, I don't even know what technology they would have. And nobody has a TV.
Well, I mean, what I'm going to say is the advanced weaponry of the military.
Oh, yeah.
That came in.
You got like a
spoiler
helicopter.
A little bit later in the movie, but was very modern.
That's
very modern
true.
style.
I forgot about that. So she just lives in a rural village or something like that.
I have a feeling it's a pretty minimal living sort of situation.
Yeah, it seems like they didn't have roads to get to her house. Like, all the kids had to walk home from school, and it seemed like it wasn't necessarily because they couldn't catch a bus, but because maybe there wasn't even a road.
Yeah. And probably everyone lived within a certain distance in a smaller village size or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Where we go, there are no roads.
Because no one's built them yet. Back to the Future 4.
Oh.
Caveman. Marty, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great grandfathers is in the Crusades. You have to go even farther back. Wow. That looks really cool on my my voice monitoring thing. Okay. Probably irritating, though. Okay, so we get the idea she's a lonely girl. She walks home alone. When she gets home, her mom is not there because her mom works as a nurse and does night shifts. And
smokes a lot of cigarettes, too.
We also see the kitten, Mimi, who is seems like it's supposed to be an outside cat, but she sneaks in. It's very adorable. And she stops at the little shrine for her father, who's passed. And cooks her own dinner. I don't even think she sees her mom the first night. Just goes back to school. And when she goes back to school, her very pregnant teacher, which is an important no, it's not.
No, it is important.
I mean, it comes into play because, says that there's been recent sightings of a creature and the kids should be careful. It might be some kind of bear. And you know what bears do, guys?
I've heard rumors, Joel.
Yes.
I've heard rumors.
What kind of rumors?
It's not for me to reveal this rumor.
Sarah?
It wasn't a bear.
That's true. So
I think you're excited.
You're
that
saying
you thought it was going to be a bear.
you're saying that creature wasn't going to touch your dingus like a bear would. I'm glad to hear that. It's not a bear. It's like it's a monster creature. It's a Pokemon.
Yeah.
With big sharp fangs. And she's all by herself and it looks like she's going to get eaten. And then Super Kid shows up. Oh, we saw Super Kid the night before.
Oh, yeah, she was like staring out from her window and she was like, oh, there's a sparkle out there. Well, better go to bed. And then we get closer to that sparkle and it's a long-haired, well-dressed guy.
He's wearing a cape and, he's looking pretty fancy.
Nah, he just had a button-up shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
He's trying to blend in or something.
Yeah.
A glowing necklace.
Found that topsider clothes,
Yeah.
like Terminator style. Probably just beat someone up and...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, he beat up Bill Paxton and stole his clothes.
Yep.
It's not right. Poor guy.
He seemed like he remembered who she was.
Yeah.
And that never comes back around
Nope.
again.
No.
And he talks about, kind of loving her or something, or having some attachment to her.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then just dies. Was it his time or something? Or
Not
they
explained.
don't explain it.
Not explained ever.
So when they're in the underworld, his younger brother says that he loved the upper world and there was nothing more he wanted to do than to live there and thrive.
Mm.
So he's like, he died how he wanted to on the upside or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, so he defends her from this beast, jumps around, does some Matrix stuff, cuts the beast. And this was very shocking. We watched a trailer for the movie, which was just a clip, and it was this part of the movie. It was a clip where the beast and the kids jumping around fighting it. And in the clip we saw, he tricks the beast into running off the bridge and falling. And then he turns around to the girl. He's like, "Are you okay?" And it's like, okay. So we're watching it and we're like, oh, it's going to play out just like it did in the trailer. Except in this version, the monster claws the kid and the kid gets impaled on a stick on his, goes straight through his arm.
Oof.
And then his crystal does a super light, which blows off the monster's jaw. And then the monster falls into the water.
Oof.
So I thought it was a good fake.
Yeah. They just edited it.
I mean, did they?
It's true.
Maybe they thought it would seem more violent and they didn't want the trailer to have violence in it or
That's
something.
true.
That could be
I don't
it,
know.
yeah.
But I totally could have seen them showing all that violence and then just ending the trailer with that Sneaker Pimp song, Underground, and then, start
Watch
revealing.
this face.
Yep. That was the alternate cut, all right.
Okay. I'll get a hold of some
Sneaker
video.
Pimps, huh?
Yeah.
What era are they from?
That'd be
90s.
1996.
So,
Is when they're
okay,
6
so
feet underground.
it was a year after Captain Marvel took place, so it couldn't be in the movie. I see.
Yeah.
Except for I think those songs don't all fit within the time period she was in.
They
I
don't.
Okay.
They don't.
She's a time traveler.
I mean, I like the idea of certain characters listening to certain songs, though, while they're driving. So,
No Macy Gray. Wait, that was 2000. Wait, when does Spider-Man come out?
Spider-Man,
99 or something?
yeah, 99, I think.
Okay, Macy Gray was in that movie.
She was during the parade scene
Mm-hmm.
Also,
when the Green Goblin showed up.
she was in Paperboy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going off on a tangent. I'm joking her.
Oh, is that in season 2? Oh,
The Paperboy.
oh no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else.
I'm talking about the movie Paperboy
Oh,
with Zac Efron.
I was thinking about Paperboy, as
said
in the
Paperboy.
rapper.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good. Yeah,
Boy,
she'd be on that show.
Paperboy. That would be awesome. Macy Gray, in Atlanta.
Yeah, in Atlanta.
Mhm.
That's what I was thinking.
So this kid gets damaged, and then he's like, hey, you better not come back here.
This kid gets damaged.
And Mimi's like, I love you, new kid. So Mimi hangs out with the kid. And of course, the girl doesn't listen, so she comes back the next day.
Mm-hmm.
we are briefly introduced to her mom, who's like, what the heck is going on? And she goes and bandages up the boy, and the boy's like, this is the part where he's like, I did what I needed to do, and you're going to be alive, and that's what's the most important thing.
Yeah, this part of the movie really weirds me out because, like, he's just chilling on the mountain. Like, he doesn't want to go back underground. He doesn't want to go to her house. He doesn't want to meet her mom. His life is done. He's done.
I mean, they play it like he decides, like, maybe he was already gonna die after a couple of days of being upside or whatever.
Oh.
But I think we were supposed to think his wound was much worse than it was.
Okay.
Maybe it was supposed to be a fatal wound. It just looked like his arm got...
Yeah, but he did sit around with it like that for a day, like in the rain and stuff like that.
I don't know.
I just can't believe that. Yeah, I felt like it could have. I think where I'm trying to go with is I felt it could have been very preventable, but I guess the story dictated that we needed him to die.
Yeah, he didn't feel like it.
He didn't feel. It's like, nah, I don't want to go on that adventure.
He also gave her the crystal that he had around his neck. So.
Oh, that is important.
And that turns out to be the dingus or what? No, I'm just using that word interchangeably now. What is it?
Did he say something about remembering her or like?
Oh, he did.
Or you're this age now or
yes,
something?
I felt like he did.
Like, I thought that was going to come back around to like maybe he was a time traveler.
I totally know where you're coming from on that, Sarah. Because I felt that like. It was a situation where they were going to get married later on, and like he was from the future, and he was going to die.
Or something.
Yeah.
I felt like maybe this was their first meeting in the past or something.
Are you okay, Joel?
Yeah, I'm fine. Anyways, the kid jumps off a cliff.
Yeah, that totally happens.
And her mom is like, they found a boy, and he died. And she's like, it couldn't be him. And she goes to the cliff. And it's, there's nobody there, but we see the cops like looking at the destruction on the bridge, and there's one cop that looks like one of the bad guys from Lupin the Third, right? Or one of the
immediately when
bad guys, but yeah,
he just looks like a guy,
the generic detective hat,
the guy that'd be like really like over exasperated over Lupin's like thing happening. Oh. What will the chief say?
It's all this money.
Yep.
It's fake. But he finds the beast, and the beast is all crystallized, and he's like, oh, something about them coming to the top side. This guy already knows what's going on.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's very, very well read.
And the next time we see him, he is a substitute teacher. So, what?
He's going undercover, man. He's undercover.
He was undercover as like the cops.
Yeah.
And then he was undercover as a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
And then later, another boy shows up wearing a mask, and Asuna thinks that it's Shun, but it's actually, we find out later, it's Shin, not Shun. Shin.
Get it?
Not Shin.
Shin?
No, it is Shin.
Shun.
Not Shun.
Shun?
Shin?
Shin.
Shy.
Too shy.
Oh.
Hush, hush.
What? No. Anyways, there's a chase, there's helicopters, there's machine guns, and they run down to an underground cave system, and they only escape because the Clavis?
Alligator?
Clavis.
Oh yeah, there's a guardian down there in the cave. The guardian of the gate, which is a big ol' alligator creature.
Alligatosaurus.
And he's like, I don't want to kill the guardian. I want to put it to sleep. And then everybody kills it.
Then he punches it a bunch.
Yeah.
And then they come in with machine guns and they're like, oh, there you are. And they just shoot it.
Hey, thanks for whoever stunned this poor creature for us to murder.
Yep.
Wow, I thought they went extinct. All right, men, fire at it. I believe is pretty much what went down.
They're like, give us the Clavis. And they're part of some... What was the name of their...
Archangel is the name of their secret organization in the government.
Very important
Archangel.
information.
Well, I mean, what I'm going to say is that Shin is very aware of their organization.
Oh, we've heard about Archangel.
I don't know. I guess crystals can hack the internet, I assume. And he used a bunch of crystals to find out about them.
Is just worried about any other Napoleons or Hitlers. There's a picture of Hitler in this movie.
Yeah.
Coming in.
Certain people drew on this underworld power, including Hitler.
Hey, ancient Numeria, right?
What?
Isn't this supposed to be Numeria?
Yeah, I think they do say that.
Yeah, man.
But what's that?
Haven't you guys watched the History Channel? No, I'm just kidding.
I have not.
I'm kidding.
Only
Is
to
this a
find
Hellboy
out
thing?
about the Oak Island treasure. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, the Island Boys, they know what's up.
Uh-huh. They possibly stumbled upon the secret treasure, Adolf Hitler. Like, oh, this guy's got a good idea. Where do we dig? I don't know. I'm drunk.
Well, you see,
Yes.
I mean, it's all hearsay and legend.
Where does
it's probably all made
Rasputin
up.
come into?
It's probably all made up. But basically, Numeria was supposed to have. It's like supposed to be one of those ancient legends or whatever. It's supposed to have some type of magical energy source or
Legend
whatever.
of the Hidden Temple.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Kids would run through the temple to try to retrieve the.
They get grabbed by weirdos.
Yeah. Anyways, in the Hellboy storyline, Numeria was supposed to be a place where there was a energy source
Oh, I see.
of great power
Okay.
that could push back against the Saduhem. The Saduhem are the
And they're like
evil alien beings in the other dimension that want to eat us.
Sagoths or
Shogoths, yeah.
Schmogoth.
Schmogoth.
Schmang. Anyways, they end up on the other side of the door. But it's just
There's
one of
like
those.
an iridescent thing that
Mm.
happens, like
Yep.
a colorful.
Oh, he hits the clicker and the garage door opens. It's like, ooh.
It's kind of like a Stargate
Yeah.
passage.
It's not liquid, huh?
The clavis is also a garage door opener.
That's yep. And it gets all the stations.
Oh, it picks up all the good stations. Yeah.
Gets K-Rock no matter
FM.
where you are.
You get those
KRQ.
crystal radio stations.
Oh, nice.
If you had a Clavis, you could get K-Rock in Fillmore. You know how difficult that is? Jeez.
So, how much a month do you think is the clavis subscription?
I mean, that's the thing. If you find one,
Okay.
just don't give it to anyone else.
I want all those sweet vaporwave. I can only assume.
Don't put it up on
beats.
LimeWire or whatever.
Oh, that's the dark web, right?
Yeah. Or you could trade it for those new Limp Bizkit tracks.
Nah, I'm too obsessed with sneaker pimps right now.
I saw
Sorry,
an article that said something about what is the Limp Bizkit lead?
It'd be Fred Durst.
Fred Durst Jazz Festival, and it's like Fred Durst and jazz are three words that.
Well, I mean, first of all, if there's someone else named Fred Durst, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they could have been.
I'm just sorry for the jazz musician.
I'm just very
whose
sorry.
name is Fred Durst.
No. I think it was him.
Oh man, he tried some different things, right?
Oh, sure. I mean, maybe he really likes jazz, and Limp Bizkit just happened to be a thing.
New jazz,
that he touched with his dingus.
new metal jazz.
Keep going back to that.
Well, it's on your mind.
We're on the other side. One of the soldiers comes up and everyone, all three of us are like, well, it's obviously that teacher that was talking about the legends and the mysteries and stuff like that. And he takes off his mask and it's the teacher.
What do you mean, Joel?
Well, Shin is like, you're Archangel. You can't come along here. Okay, see you later.
Do you think there is supposed to be some kind of weird attraction between him and the girl?
I mean, I didn't think there was an attraction thing, but we kept positing that, like, well, was she his wife, like, grew as they grew older, or did he fall through time?
We didn't know if he fell through time. Yeah.
And, like, is Shin actually Shun, and he's, like, hasn't grown into Shun yet?
I don't know. Yeah, but the thing that made me think that was when he shows up in the class, I thought you were supposed to kind of think that he was a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And then she hears his theories or whatever, and then she goes and studies them.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they go to the underworld, there's a part where she's like, it's kind of like you're my dad. And he gets all like embarrassed for a minute, like, oh, no.
I mean, I would react that way if somebody said I was kind of like their dad too. I mean, you know, I got you got your baby nephew Dolan. If he was like, it's kind of like you're my dad to me, I'd probably be like, no.
Yeah, I understand.
Aaron, it's kind of like you're my dad.
No, Joel. I'm your friend.
Put me to bed, Dad.
All right, Joel, go to bed.
No.
You're a girl. Wash this baby.
We haven't got to that. That baby.
Oh, yeah,
that baby
that happened, didn't it?
care.
Did that happen in this?
Yeah.
Man.
It's like
You're
that thing.
a girl, cook some food.
that thing where if you save somebody's life, you're responsible for it. That's that. The grandpa was just like, yeah, you know. Yeah. So they go further into the land. They go under breathable aquavelva or whatever it's called.
Yeah, there was a term, but
and then they start marching along, and we see them journey. And there's a part where they eat some potatoes, or at least they call them potatoes.
There's a part where they face another
Tubers.
guardian, and they're like, "Oh no!" And then the kitty jumps out
Turns out Mimi was in the backpack.
because she stowed away in the backpack, and they're like, "Oh no! How are we gonna face this guardian?" And the cat goes up. And the guardian's like cool with the cat.
Yeah, and
That's
we're all
right.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Mimi, we love you so much. You'll never die."
and we're cool with the cat too.
Yeah,
We're way cool with this little cat.
that cat was the best part of the movie.
We sing a song about, "Oh, Mimi, you're going to live forever." Oh, Mimi, if you ever die, we'll turn off this movie forever. Hey, I rhyme forever with forever. Man, I'm terrible at this.
I mean, I've heard worse, Joel.
Oh,
that was
yeah,
pretty
of course.
good.
No,
It was pretty good.
Don't worry about it.
I got to get some like background music for that.
That's
Turn
a
it
good
into
idea.
like some trap trance remix.
Could be a real hit
I think so.
with those beats I was throwing down earlier in the podcast.
We'll find the sounds of like crystals clinking together too, just to make it even more authentic to this movie.
Nice. Yeah, so they go on a journey, and eventually what happens is, you know, they're having conversation. We're not really seeing things. They find a deserted village, and there's a scene where Shin goes back to we assume it's his village, and he returns the clavis that he found. And they're like, "You let those people in, and she's got another clavis." It's like, what? Like, you failed us. You suck. Go on another task. And then when you're done with that task, do the other task.
And then he cuts his hair off.
Oh, you know.
Well, because he was ostracized from his village.
Yeah, he had to cut his ponytail off, and he wasn't ever allowed to return. Wait, that's Princess Mononoke.
Well, this guy might be a fan.
Oh. He's got like a girlfriend who's like, "Where are you going?" He's like,
Oh.
"Don't you have a task to do? I could take a break."
That girl, yeah. She comes up to him and he says, like, I can't remember the exact phrasing, but it was like so surprising. Don't you have a task? Like, it was like a, like, go away
Like,
type
aren't you,
of
aren't you
thing.
doing a
Aren't
task?
you working? Like,
You're like walking by the McDonald's your friend was working at, and they'll just jump over the counter like, "Hey, there's my friend. See you later." That McDonald's job is a task.
That's right.
Okay, so his task is he has to go get the gem in any way, any means necessary. So even if he has to kill those two, because even though we were talking about how this is like the underworld before, it's actually not the underworld. It's just like a sub-world where magic exists, and there may be a way to resurrect people on this side. So it feels like they've been misleading us this entire time, because I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be the underworld, literally.
Yeah.
yeah, I did too. These are like human people with villages underground, and their only distinction is that like some magical things and some magical creatures are there, and that like they can die too.
Totally.
And they can, yeah, they like, I'm trying to think of something else that happened that I was like, what? Like, they said something about being human. Like,
Yeah,
they
did.
are
Yeah.
human.
Yeah. But the downsiders never mix with the upsiders, so
Nope.
because that's against the law. Except there's
Rare
sometimes,
occasions.
oh yeah. And Asuna gets kidnapped in the middle of the night in a pretty disturbing scene.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It seems like she's awake and it's like cold, and then like these bony monster with red eyes like starts.
They crawl, they're like 4-legged and they crawl up to her.
She's having like sleep paralysis. She
Yeah.
can't move.
It was some textbook sleep paralysis stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mimi tries to attack it, and that monster strikes Mimi away. So we're like, "Oh, you just killed Mimi. Don't worry, Mimi's fine. Mimi, don't worry. Mimi's gonna live forever. Do not worry about Mimi."
Don't worry about Mimi.
What?
She'll live forever.
Yes, in our hearts.
That's some like lyrics there, man. Oh, in the hearts is in the parentheses
Yes.
at the end.
Spoiler. We're spoiling the whole thing. Anyway. So she gets kidnapped by these things, and she wakes up in like it looks like an arena, like circular wrecked building stuff. And there's another little girl there that's like much smaller than her, who's crying, and she gets cradled by Asuna, and they realize that these creatures can only walk in the shadows. So as long as they try to stay in the light to keep away, but luckily, Shin shows up. And he rescues them by throwing them off a cliff.
Yeah, no, really. That's what he did.
There's a lot of cliffs going on
A
here.
lot of cliff falling.
That's like
Cliffhanger.
cliffs are dangerous.
Yeah. I guess that seems like a fantasy element because it's something that doesn't happen in real life.
Yeah.
That's true. And the grown-up guy realizes that, yeah, I know, he like somehow finds where she ran off to.
I think it was just kind of happenstance,
Yeah.
honestly. I think they just happened to be around the same area.
Right. Okay.
I don't think he was like following a trail or anything.
Because Shin is swimming. They jump off the cliff, but they land in the water, and the monsters don't like water, supposedly. And Shin is swimming to try to save Asuna and the little girl, and one of the monsters slices him in the back, so he goes unconscious. And Asuna's like, I've got to save him. So she jumps in the water, but the next time we see her, she's unconscious on the shore. So it didn't work out.
She tried, though.
She didn't die, and Shin is very badly hurt. And so they take his horse, and they try to go to a nearby village where they actually see that there's living people. Finally.
Civilization?
I was like, you guys were both like, I can't wait to see what this city's like. And
Nah, we don't get that.
no.
Not in this movie.
There are parts when they're walking around that are more like, they remind me of like Machu Picchu and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's ruins and there's kind of overgrown like structures, and I guess it's kind of Nausicaa-ish too, but I haven't watched that one.
Tons of stone steps.
Yeah,
I like
stone
Nausicaa.
steps. And
I prefer the original No, I'm sorry.
I mean, there's some rice field looking places that have water in them. Just kind of like a cascading like hillside that has different levels with water in it.
Nice.
And yeah, it's not like there's cities or anything. There's just kind of a few people around. And this is the part where they return the girl.
Yeah, they bring the girl, and those three Dangars come out
That's right.
on their KKK horses.
One of them only has one eye revealed too, which I thought was kind of interesting.
And the other two have the bottom of their faces covered up. So
yeah.
I think they're the Three Stooges.
Definitely.
Different scarring. I don't know. Aaron said they look like Dangar. That's what I'm calling that.
The lead guy just reminded me of a
He's a space mummy.
underworlder Dengar man.
Can't trust a space mummy.
Mm-mm.
And they're like, you can't come into our village. Thanks for giving us a little girl, though.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
they try to
that
make him
happened.
go away, and
That happened.
like, what about this injured guy? Like, we don't give a crap. And
They
then,
didn't.
Then the elder shows up, and he's like, "Oh, my granddaughter, thanks for shaving there. You can come hang out in my hut. I don't live in the village. Don't expect to ever see the village, 'cause you never will." I'm like, okay.
And then he welcomes them into his house. He tries to take care of the wounded guy, and then he puts her to work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
He's like, he's like, you bathe my granddaughter.
First of all, I
And-
need you to bathe my granddaughter.
And she gets all red. We were saying we weren't sure if that was actually what he said to her.
Yeah, because he's in the English dub, he says, "Can you please bathe my granddaughter?" And she's like, oh, she turns all red. Bathe her? Like, oh, this is so shocking. Like, well, no, that wouldn't be that weird in Japan. I think it was really like you're quite smelly. Perhaps you should take a bath or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a
she
suspicion.
seemed embarrassed.
Yeah.
You smell like a big wet fart. Can you please take a bath right now? You're disrupting the chi of the house.
The grandfather looks at her and he's like, "You should take a break from your task and take a bath."
I've assigned you a task.
A task.
Part of it seems like it's like a cozy, warm, welcoming environment, and the rest of it's just like, you do this, you do that. 'Cause he's having her help cook, like she's cutting up vegetables and stuff, and and then later he tells her to put the baby to bed and that she should go sleep with her or whatever.
Put that baby to bed. Men are talking. Yeah. I mean, he's being very polite. Again,
Yeah.
I think they're outsiders, but like, and once the teacher guy, who he's really one track mind, like the only thing he doesn't care about who lives or dies or whatever. He's like, I heard there's a way to resurrect the dead. And the old man's like, that kind of act is forbidden here. And the teacher is like,
That means it's possible.
yeah, tell me, old man, or I'll kill your family.
Gotta do it right now.
Like, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave after you put my granddaughter to bed, of course, and maybe do some
weed
laundry.
the garden. And I'm
Can you? I need you to scrub the latrine for me. No, and I like this. It's a nice moment. I really wish there had been some like other people. Oh, there's a part where they're walking and like these kids like throw a stone, like get the hell out of here, and they throw a stone at Asuna and almost hits her in the head. But this the teacher's got
puts
like
his hand out.
he's got
right
like
in front.
freaking martial arts Metal Gear Solid style
Oh yeah,
moves.
it's part of his backstory that we don't end up finding anything out about.
No, he's a secret commando.
He's a spy.
I mean,
that's how he gets into all these different places.
Let's talk about the flashback he has. There's a couple of parts where we have flashbacks.
Uh-huh.
And his flashback is he's sick in bed, and what we presume to be his wife. What was her name? Do you remember?
No.
Some generic name. Anyways, she's like, I thought I was the sickly one. Oh, you need to stay strong and healthy and happy for when I'm gone. So it's like, okay, she already knows she's going to die.
Yeah,
Whatever's going
sounds
on.
like she's pretty sure she might die.
Mhm. And then we see him like fighting a war.
Yeah, it's like he was sent out on a mission.
And yeah, like in a war zone, shooting machine guns and stuff like that. And she's back at home, sick in bed. And she reaches over to like a bedside table with like a lamp and some other glass on it. And she accidentally pushes over. And her reaction is like, oh no. And then there's just like a splash of blood.
I mean, I think it was blood.
I think it
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was blood. So it's like, did she fall and hit her head or cut
I
her
think she was dying. I think she was croaking anyway right then.
I think that
Whether or not she fell on something.
the context was because of the English dub. I think we were supposed to understand that she had died or something, and Because he like comes through the door and he's like, honey, I'm home. Oh!
Yeah, and then sees her dead body or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't.
He's upset because he had to spend time away from her, and this was like his last like mission for a while, and they were gonna be able to just hang out together, and when he gets back she's already dead.
Yeah, he was like, let's move away, let's go back to my hometown or something.
Right. So
she's like, oh, you're so silly, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
It's a sad tale. I'm sad. Yeah, I mean, they wrap everything up. They get ready to go. We see that Shin he's been bandaged up. He's healing, but he's not able to move. So he has to stay behind. And Asuna and Teacher Guy take their leave. And this is a really sad part where they get in a boat to go, downstream or whatever. And Mimi jumps off of Asuna. She's like, Mimi's been attached to Asuna this whole time. Like she's either on her shoulder or on top of her head.
Guarding her when somebody tries to attack.
Mm-hmm.
Like
she's eating with them and everything like that.
Yeah, she's having some of the food.
And she jumps over to the little girl. And Asuna's like, Mimi, come on, Mimi, come back here. She grabs her, tries to take her, and Mimi jumps. And it's like, no. Grandpa says she's completed her mission.
She's completed her mission.
And she's going to stay here with us now. Don't worry, we'll take good care of her. There's no way she'll die.
And this part kind of reminded me of in Kiki's Delivery Service when Gigi stops talking to her, which I find particularly heartbreaking in that movie. But yeah, in this movie, it's like the cat isn't going to go along with her anymore. And you're like, what the heck? What's happening? And they're like, and then you're like, oh, well, I guess she's going to live with them now.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Like
going to have a happy life with this little girl that needs
girls,
a friend.
Yeah, they're going to be happy together.
And the next thing you see, the little girl's crying.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, oh, she misses
Yeah.
Asuna because she left.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what I was thinking? Because Shin wakes up and he hears the girl crying and he starts walking out there. I was going to be like, oh man, Grandpa's dead. Like maybe Grandpa was killed or something like that, or died of old age. No. Why couldn't they have killed Grandpa?
The cat died.
Mimi's dead.
We didn't even see her die. She was just dead in the next scene.
We have a harsh separation scene, followed by
As soon as like
a
crying,
death scene.
Yeah.
As soon as tears are coming down her eyes as she says goodbye and they go down the stream. And then the very next, the next 5 minutes, I don't know if the little girl killed the cat or what.
I'm just going to say it. I think this is kind of like where the movie starts kind of having a bit of a decline for me.
I think the cat was the best part of the movie. So when the cat died, I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe it's like Aslan and it's gonna
resurrect,
again or something. And I'm like, we'll see. And, these creatures are bringing things back from the dead and...
Right, and this is another magical creature.
Yeah.
Mimi was like, we've seen her eyes flash and stuff like that, and things like that.
So they just go out back and they bury the cat, right, guys? That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Aaron?
Oh, no, they don't.
I hate to break it to you,
What happened?
but that's not what happened.
Oh, no.
They feed it to a demon.
No.
What?
First of all, it's not a demon. It's like the god of death for them or something like
So
that.
what you're telling me is funeral practices underneath the earth a little bit different than practices that we may have in our cultures.
That would be funny if they put it into a cannon. They launch it to the sky.
Fireworks.
Now she's a star. Yeah, they walk out to some location and here comes the walking god with a mask and he's only got one arm for some reason and she
Doesn't he have bejeweled butt cheeks too?
Yeah, he's got a bunch of bejewels all over his stuff. And the little girl lifts up Mimi and he opens his mouth and eats that kitten and...
Yeah, the mask just kind of lifts and there's just a bunch of teeth, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
And then he licks his finger. No.
They're like, we respect you, death god.
Yeah.
Here's something for you.
I think it might have been less upsetting if I hadn't, like, 5 seconds before go, oh, he's going to eat it.
Yeah, you called a bunch of stuff in this movie.
Yeah, Joel, this movie, yeah. You're the Nostradamus of this film.
You know it's a problem when you keep saying the worst things that could happen out loud because you think it's a joke and then it happens.
Yeah. I almost shouted like for crying out loud.
Stop it, Joel. Stop it.
Yeah, and again, I was like, well, maybe it's like Aslan because this creature is a death creature, but they said something about, circle of life or some crap.
Right.
And the grandpa was like, it's the circle of life or whatever.
It's the circle.
And then, okay, wait. So the thing eats the cat.
The cycle of perpetual underground death.
And then Shin is like, I have to take my leave. There's nothing for me here at least anymore. So I'm just going to return to my village. So he gets on his horse and takes off. And Grandpa goes, we're all alone now.
That happened, didn't it?
That's weird.
That happened.
Shut up, Grandpa.
Man. We're all alone now.
Oh my god. Yeah, all the friends left, and the cat died, and the guy left, and yeah, it's
not.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say, it was an entertaining movie to watch. I didn't know what was gonna happen next at this point. Joel did.
Joel knew.
Yeah, I wrote this movie, guys. I'm sorry. I wasn't entertained enough. Like, I kept going, like, I hope something's gonna... it was nice to look at. And there were a couple of parts where I got, like, a little bit of hope. Like, when she gets kidnapped by the monsters, I thought, oh, this is kind of cool going. But, okay, well, never mind. And then... when the cat dies, I was just like, you don't have anything left for me, buddy. Sorry, movie.
I still cared about the little girl, but I kind of didn't care about her as much as I would have if she had a stronger persona in the movie.
We don't know what she's about.
Yeah, we don't really get that.
Like, she's just tagging along with her teacher because she doesn't know what else to do. I mean...
Yeah, he asks her if she wants to resurrect that guy, and she's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Like, and she's like...
Yeah, that was rough.
How can we keep on going? Or how do you keep on going? He's like, you have to decide what you want to do in your own heart.
He keeps telling her to get lost.
By the way, I'm going to smoke these cigarettes.
And, yeah, he's a dark guy. He's really not very happy in his life.
He's always cleaning his gun. Kind of weird.
And this is like where I feel like it all kind of, like you were saying, Aaron, it kind of snowballs into like a catastrophe.
Yeah.
Which it then tries to remedy afterwards. But I mean, yeah, but it's like there's the creatures that were chasing her in the water. She was in the middle of a water, like a lake or something.
Well, before that, there's those 3 Dengars decide, like, oh, we got to go finish this task for him. Obviously, the taskmaster called, and they said, hey, get that task from that task.
Like, oh, we received a task.
Tasky.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Go get the glaive.
You haven't finished your task yet?
And clav it.
There was another thing that was kind of like culty, like sending people on a task that they, like, they had to finish.
He kept saying, like, you have to repent. Like,
oh yeah,
wait,
repent, and like there was something else too.
Mm-hmm.
Did we discuss the Hitler imagery?
No.
Yeah.
Grandpa does.
Grandpa, right?
Yeah, Grandpa explains the reason why they locked it off their world is because men with power from the upper side kept coming down to try to, and they destroyed Agartha. Right. And we see the imagery, we see some old leaders, and we see Napoleon, and there's like, I don't remember a couple of things, but there's definitely Hitler, with, the swastikas and everything going on.
They wanted their secrets.
And
Secret
so
Atlantean
there were
secrets.
5 of those Glavins.
Clavis.
The Clavis. Glaven.
Clovis, Clavis.
Yeah, 5 clavises,
Smoking your cloves.
which they use to seal off their world.
Mm-hmm.
And it really doesn't matter. The end. That was a good movie, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a way to end it.
Yeah, join us next week for, I don't know, some...
Oh, hey.
I lost track of what you were saying. Did you say the part about how he tries to get his wife back?
No, with the 3... remember the 3 Dengars go try to get do the task, and so Shin has to fight them off.
Right.
Right.
And he's like, you saved my life, so I'm paying it back. Now you guys go on. So they get to the end of the world,
Paying it forward.
which is a gigantic hole.
Yep.
And teacher man's like, you got to decide what you want to do, little girl, that I should be taking care of, but you're a little girl. See you later.
Yep.
And he starts climbing down. And she's like, I guess I'll walk back now. So that's when she's walking in the middle of that
and then
river.
the thing happens.
Mhm.
And then what's-his-face shows up, right? And they go running down a bunch of stairs.
Yeah.
What's his name? Shin?
Shin shows up. He cuts through the monsters after that because the river like disappears.
Right. She runs out of water.
Wasn't she going to get, like, eaten?
Yeah. Like those scary monsters.
scary
also
shadow
had
monsters.
Big old mouth.
Yeah. Bigger mouth than the god guy.
Oh, that was when she fell asleep or something while standing up, and she had a dream of Shun, and Shun was like, "Oh, you're here to see me," and his arm, she like reaches out and his arm rips off.
Oh, yeah, the nightmare fuel.
Like, what's going on here? There were a bunch of like just sudden random.
I've had some pretty crazy dreams, but that was like, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
She sees a few images, and one of the images she sees is a guy with long hair turned to his back towards her with the cat on his shoulder when she's sailing away in the boat. And I think that's like a flash of her seeing like them in the afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. I feel like you can perpetually die in this world.
Yep.
Maybe.
Like, you can die, a demon can eat you, and then that demon can die.
Time exists simultaneously. Or something. I don't know. There's no time travel. I don't know what's going on.
It's a funny, has a funny approach to dealing with the idea of a soul.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, teacher gets to the bottom, and he activates. He's got one of the Clavises.
Mhm.
He's got one of Gladys.
Clavis.
Clavis.
I guess.
He's got Gladys Knight, and Shin saves Asuna from the monster things, and they're like, "Oh no, he activated the thingy. We better go." So they run back to the edge of the world, and they see that like ship or whatever, that Yu-Gi-Oh ship you were saying.
Yeah, like a Yu-Gi-Oh card, it looked like. I don't know the official one, but it had like eyeballs and stuff on the side of it, and it was flying around everywhere.
Yeah, it's flying down to go meet Teacher Guy.
Teacher guy.
And they're like, wow, how are we going to get down there? And there's no way we can make it. And here comes the idol of death. It's like, oh, don't worry, he's dying. Like, how do you know he's dying? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, oh, he says he'll give us a ride. Okay. So he eats them. Which, I don't know if you guys felt this way, but for a moment I was like, oh, Mimi's going to come back.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought so.
I either thought they were going to be dead forever like Mimi was, or that Mimi was going to come back. Because they were going to come back.
Yeah, totally.
Or that Mimi was going to be evolved into something else by this time.
Maybe that was Mimi, you know? Like, Mimi became this god of death thing. I don't know.
That didn't have a head or wasn't.
It just didn't have an
gonna
arm.
make
It was it was like there to throw itself off. So it does. And
you can travel by falling creature.
right,
if they eat you.
as long as
first.
you're inside a creature,
Yeah.
you land in the breathable water,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the breathable water.
you're fine. And so they get down there, and the the ship is turned into like a god thing with a million eyes, and
Also a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
He's like, I need you to return I want you to return my wife. And so they make like a weird shadow version of his wife. He's like, what? Oh, she needs a vessel for her soul? Where am I going to get a vessel? A teacher! Oh.
This is the other part that made me think that there may be some kind of weird thing between him and the girl. Because as soon as they say he needs a vessel, everybody knows that he's going to use the girl as the vessel for his wife.
Mm-hmm.
And that's weird. Just like, hang on for a second. That's weird. but then, like, it seems like it could be weird because it would be her body, but it also seems weird because it seems like it was his first instinct. And not just, like, as a murderous thing, but as, like, a companion thing, too.
He's like, I told you not to come back here.
Yeah, he was like, I told you not to.
And
now you're gonna be my wife?
Now I'm covering you with goo.
And you're gonna have a soul of somebody else in you? I don't know. It was weird.
Soul goop.
Yeah. So, yeah.
And, like, without even saying it out loud, like in Ghostbusters, it's like the choice has been made. And the soul just goes into her, and it's like this transformative thing.
Yeah, that weird portal opened, right? With all the weird red tentacles.
Oh, yeah, that weird almond-shaped portal. That's all I'll say about that. And a bunch of stuff spills out.
That's right.
And Shin is like, oh, no, my girlfriend. And Teacher's like, no, it's my wife now.
He's like, this is great. And then they're like,
Let's
still
make
need
out.
something. The god or whatever is like, we still need something else.
Right. Yeah, he's like, that young girl's body wasn't enough? And they strike out his eyeball.
Yep.
Which I thought that was cool.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of Berserk for some reason.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They gotta pull his eyeball out. Then cut his hand off. And he's gonna have that metal hand like Ash from Evil Dead.
Oh. Gotta kill them deadites.
Shin's like, no, the living are more important than the dead. So he attacks the Cletus, and
Joel, wake up!
In the end, he destroys the Clavis, and her soul, the dead woman's soul, is released back in the thing. And the teacher's like, no, but later he seems fine with it.
She kind of gives him a hard time.
Yeah.
She's like,
his dead wife does?
Yeah. She's kind of like, it's nice to see you, but this isn't really what should be going on now. Like, I shouldn't be back alive, and you shouldn't be stuck thinking about this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, she's kind of like, you pulled me out of my afterlife to have something that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
And then, after that, he seems okay with it.
There's a really sad part where we see Asuna and she's with Shun and Mimi, and they're just like in a cottage, and they basically say goodbye to each other. And that's like in my opinion, the most effective scene in the movie. This whole thing might have been about grief and how to deal with it, and how saying goodbye is a good thing sometimes. And, she walks out the door to take her life back. And it's like, no, Mimi! But, everything's fine after that. They get back up somehow. I can't remember. And
they play a J-pop song.
Oh,
and
that's how.
Everything's okay.
The magic of J-pop. Yeah, they take his mule all the way back, and we get
that mule hug scene.
Some credit scenes.
Aww.
And then a little bit after the credits, there's a scene back in the real world, and Asuna's mom is like, you're going to be late for graduation, and Asuna's like, I'm going, and she smiles at the camera, and I guess
Life's happy.
Okay.
Yeah. She had 3 hair clips
Oh,
before she was happy.
Okay. That was the secret.
Yep.
You know that she's evolved into another person because she's got another barrette
That's
in
true.
her hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And she's stronger now because
That's
she's
right.
older. Same haircut, though. Her
Yeah.
hair didn't grow that entire time.
Oh, the teacher decided to stay behind in the underworld, which I feel like that's a no-no.
I feel like they could have been just sitting by the brook together or whatever at the end in the real world.
Oh.
Isn't that what the other guy does? Does he come back up?
I think he led them there probably, but
that was like the place at the end that we're at was the exit point when they fell down into the water.
I thought that was weird. I was like, so now they're just chilling in the woods?
Yeah. No, that was, yeah. I don't know how she got out, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Because the living are more important.
I think she probably just sacrificed, like, the grandpa to some
that's good.
elder god thing and opened a portal for her to escape. Because all the clavises are gone, right?
Yep. Well, just one. I mean, it's not even gone because there's chunks of this clavis everywhere.
Maybe she rode that antlered guardian.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I remember you. You had a nice cat. Where's that cat? She died. Oh.
Let's get her out of here.
Never mind.
Now begins a new adventure for you. And you'll be with Totoro.
And you'll be with me.
I wish she'd be with Mimi at the end.
Me. You only me when you're very young. And then you've got to vape.
Always sleep with the lights on. Because the shadow creatures will get you.
Mm-hmm. Remember, kids. It's like Monsters, Inc., but horrifying.
Yeah, jeez.
So, I mean, I really don't think the movie was that good.
There was some cool imagery, though. Like, I have to give it to it that there was some very striking imagery. Stuff, just going to focus real quick on some of the stuff that Sarah already covered.
Sure.
You know, the settings were cool, the clouds, I'm not going to say the word architecture, the buildings.
How was the architecture?
It was cool. But yeah, some of those creature moments are real striking and aren't probably going to leave me for a while. That dream sequence with that guy's arm falling off. Yikes. The shadow creature with its mouth opening finally. The god eating our dear cat.
Yeah, I'll be scarred forever. Thanks.
I don't know. There was some very interesting moments for sure, but I have to agree with where you're getting at. Anyways, Joel, yeah, it's probably not a movie I would recommend, unfortunately.
I mean, I guess I kind of would recommend it to people who are really into Miyazaki, but I would say, like, it's a Miyazaki-ish movie. Like, but I mean, there are some people who are looking for more of that, you know?
Sure, yeah.
And, I mean, the story is unusual, but I don't know. I found it entertaining, but I also found it a little bit difficult with, like, the death and it is visually really cool.
Yeah.
Maybe it wouldn't bother other people as much.
But just for a movie that was adventure, you know, with some swordplay and, you know, monsters and gods, I found it pretty dull. Pretty dull and unearned, you know, it tried to work with your emotions and didn't really earn those things. Like, I didn't feel any attachment to any of the characters except for Mimi the cat. And I guess it doesn't take much for me to feel attached to an animal character, but like you have basically three main character people that you could have done. And if not three, then that number one, the girl Asuna, like, we should have got something. And I just never felt anything for her.
Yeah.
But like I said, it could be a lost in translation thing. Maybe if I watch it with Japanese, in Japanese with subtitles in English, I'll get something more out of it.
I was going to mention, I am interested in this more of this director's work, though.
He did that movie, Your Name.
Yeah.
Which is supposed to be really good, right?
Yeah, I want to check that one out. And there's another one, too, I believe, that just came out recently, right? Last year, maybe?
Let me see. Yeah, I mean, Your Name was last year, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe that's one that I'm thinking then.
Yeah. Let's see. He did, Your Name. Well, Your Name was 2016.
Yeah.
But I think it got released here in 2017. So something called Garden of Words, and then Children Who Chase Lost Voices, which is the one we watched.
Okay.
5 centimeters per second. The Place Promised in Our Early Days. Yeah.
I thought there was one that came out last year by him, but I guess I was incorrect.
Yeah, you're ruining everything.
That's right.
Weathering with You is coming out this year. A young man befriends a girl who can manipulate the weather.
Oh.
Sounds like a classic in the making. Anyways, I mean, this is just like with any movie you watch. I'm glad I watched it. And it's, like I said, I feel like our anime episodes are few and far between, unless somebody specifically requests something. So, hey, listener, if you want an anime, go to Japan. No. If you want us to discuss more anime or animated movies in general, message us on Twitter, on Facebook, write into the email, pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah. Go to the comic book store and talk to Aaron.
That happens.
Directly.
I'm there.
There's lots of ways to get in contact with us, and just let us know, because we're always open for requests and suggestions. Like if you're burning to hear our idiot voices talking about things, we're ready to go. So you guys okay?
Oh yeah. So this is the start of anime month, right? No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we're trying to figure out a theme month, but right. I don't think so.
Okay. Next up, Akira or Bart Kira.
Let's just do all the animes that Joel thinks are just okay. So we're gonna do Akira. We're gonna do Ghost in the Shell.
No, we can do the Simpsons version, Bart Kira.
What's the other one that people like that I think is just okay? Anyways, I'm gonna ruin anybody else's Christmas here. You guys think of a lesson that you learn from children who dance with devils.
Did you like Ninja Scroll?
I mean, back in the day I did, but something tells me I wouldn't like it now.
I think we might have to watch a Ninja Scroll.
I don't. Sarah, have you seen Ninja Scroll?
I don't know. I don't think so.
It's pretty.
Maybe I did.
I would be interested in your guys' reaction.
I mean, there's a rock monster that. Well, anyways.
Was it out when we were teenagers?
Yeah.
There's a chance I saw it when I was a teenager.
It was the hot when we were like just exiting high school or possibly whatever. Like everyone was like, yeah, Ninja Scroll, I got it on VHS, and then, oh man, the DVD is so crisp.
I was more about Vampire Hunter D myself.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too, I think.
I never saw Vampire Hunter D.
Really?
I watched Hellsing.
Okay.
The original series.
Oh.
I understand it's been remade.
Hugh Jackman, right?
Yes.
I don't know if I saw Hellsing or not, but I think I saw Vampire Hunter D.
Was Vampire Hunter D a movie or was it a series?
Vampire Hunter D was a movie, and then they released a late 80s. Yeah, and then they released a second one when we were in high school.
We should do Cowboy Bebop.
Oh,
the movie, yeah.
Yeah. That'd be rad.
Mm-hmm. You know, in our new Patreon that, of course, we're going to be doing a Patreon because people want to give us their money. Just kidding. Nobody wants to do that. We could do all the episodes, but... followed by all the Deep Space Nine episodes.
I mean...
Oh, we're watching them. Shut up.
I mean, I'm not gonna...
Quark?
Yeah, I'm not turning it down.
You've got faith
Odo?
of the heart, Joel.
I do have... No, that's the wrong factor. Anyways, you guys think of a lesson from Journey to Agartha, because I can't remember the other title. And
Children of the Wailing Sun.
Shut up.
Children who chase voices.
Voices, yes. Lost voices. Children who chase lost voices. So, listener, write into pleasedon'tpodcast@gmail.com. Message us on Facebook, facebook.com/PDSMiOS. If you have a few dollars you do want to send our way, we have a coffee site. That's at ko-fi.com/PDSMiOS. You could do $3 increments, and we'd appreciate any cash you can send our way. And of course, we appreciate anybody who listens anyways. Thank you to David DeRoy for our theme music.
Thanks,
and
David.
Thank you,
Jed
David.
Dowtree for our podcast art.
Thanks, Jed.
And
Jed,
of course,
you rock.
to our constant listener, Kim Torres, Scott Patz. I don't know. There's probably other people. I'd say Spencer, but he's more like a part of the family.
Thanks, homies.
Yeah, thank you.
And listen to the upcoming project done by Aaron that's all about different kinds of underwear.
Oh.
Actually, you said you were going to go to a cat convention.
Oh, I was thinking about going to CatCon.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's going to be in Pasadena.
Yeah, you can tell us about all the cats you get to pet.
Oh, yeah, man. Princess Monster Truck, Lil Bub, Grumpy Cat, probably. That'll be expensive. I'm sure it's like one of those stupid, like, get a chance to pet Grumpy Cat.
$40.
No. Like, probably like $100 to $500.
I mean,
Wow.
for a chance to pet that Grumpy Cat.
Yeah.
Is Jonathan Frakes going to be there? You can pet his head.
I mean, it's really good for your brand, Joel, if you get a photo holding Grumpy Cat.
I mean, yeah. Hey, Grumpy Cat, can you say, please don't send me into outer space? Okay, never mind. Do you guys have a lesson from children who chase after lost voices because they don't have anything better to do?
Because they don't have any parents around.
Yeah. Children
Children who chase voices because they're unattended.
children who need constant supervision, or they may get attacked by a bear. The movie.
Take care of your kids.
Oh,
that's a great lesson for this movie.
Yeah.
I didn't really get that from this one because my kid seemed to be fine. She just went to the underworld.
I think a good lesson for this movie is, like, it's difficult to let go sometimes, but, like, it's better than going to the underworld to try and bring an undead back or something. It's like, like, don't stunt your own evolution because something, like, it's something like that. I don't know.
No. It's unfortunate that, our loved ones do pass.
Yeah.
It sucks. It's something that in my own personal life, I've been dealing with, some death in the family. So I get it, it would be great to go travel to some fictional land to go bring them back. But, it's just, it's not part of the natural order of things. So yeah.
It's a fantasy.
That's right.
Is this the real life? Anyways, what?
Oh, and don't kill a cat.
Hey,
And feed it to a demon.
don't take my lesson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got 2 lessons.
I'll stop.
No, it's all right. Aaron, do you have a lesson?
My lesson is be sure to keep yourself, or be sure to vaccinate your kids, because they might go to the underworld, and who knows what kind of diseases they might bring back, or be.
I heard there's a part in the Dark Tower movie where Roland is in a hospital, and they're like, "You've got all the hepatitises." Like, wait, what?
All I'm going to say about that movie is I turned it on, I started it, I fell asleep.
I mean,
I was boom out.
That doesn't mean you fall asleep during most movies.
That's true. I guess I am a bit of a cinematic narcoleptic person.
You're like, wow, this movie is really exciting. Star Wars. I can't wait to find out who killed. Yeah. My lesson is, and it's not the same as what Sarah said, but it is in the key of the note she was playing. That, and I think I might have said this before, filmmakers do not attempt to squeeze emotion out of somebody by killing a character your audience can't help but have sympathy for. It's like you have to earn that. You can't just be like, the adorable character everybody likes. Oh, it's dead now. How do you feel? Are you sad? Good. That's what we want. Oh, your tears are feeding me. Give me more of your tears.
Your tears.
It doesn't work.
And to have it be, like, pointless and to not go anywhere else.
Right. It wasn't like a sacrifice. Like, the cat didn't die to save it. Like,
no.
Like, oh, its journey's over. Oh, now it's dead. Ooh. Oh, crap.
I guess its journey really was over.
That's like, Grandpa. We'll just tell her. She sat on the cat on accident. We'll just tell them that its journey was over. Yeah. Its time had come.
Oh, no.
Hey, Grandpa probably sat on the cat.
Probably.
Oh, no.
Well, he was telling that little girl to do all the chores for him.
That's it. Or you know what? Maybe the whole thing is BS, and it's like, oh, that monster's coming. We have to feed it. Oh, the cat. Because the teacher even makes a joke. Oh, we'll just cook the cat.
It just reminded me of cats dying, and that's not a good thing I want to think about. I've had plenty of sad memories about that, and it kind of reminded me of how my grandmother has had a lot of cats disappear, and one or two of them I know disappeared because they were hurt, and they knew they were going to die, and they hid, and I don't know if they were trying to say, oh, she knew she was going to die, so she just stayed behind.
Uh-huh.
But it's a sad thing to recollect.
Yeah, I wondered if that, like, she'd been injured by the scary monster things, and that's why, but
maybe
she stuck around for a little bit longer than that, so I don't know. So on that terribly sad note, cheer up. We'll watch a funnier movie next week. We'll see you next week, folks. Thanks for listening. Bye.